You're listening to the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast with host Kevin Jefferson. This is the number one podcast for African American real estate professionals who are doing extraordinary things. It's time to tune in. And now, your host, the People's Lender, Kevin Jefferson.
Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson, and today we have a special guest by the name of Nasar El Arabi, better known as the Real Estate Doru. How you doing, Nasar?
I'm doing all right, man. Can't complain, bro.
That's what's up. Tell the fans a little bit about who you are.
Well, I'm Nasar El Arabi, the real estate guru. Not a guru, I'm a guru because I actually do this business. Been involved in real estate since about 2007. And I'm out of the Charlotte, North Carolina market. And my company, we wholesale houses. We fix and flip. We build houses, flip land. We pretty much did everything you can do on the residential level. We pretty much done for the most part.
That's awesome, man. So, I've been following you since 2013. I'm not 100% sure, but you're the first real estate investor that I seen on YouTube back in 2013.
It wasn't very many back then. Wasn't very many. Wasn't a lot of authenticity back then. Now it's like 8 million. So.
Right. But you still here, man. So that's a test of time, man. That's to be commended, brother.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
That's what's up. So kind of tell us the audience about your journey into real estate. How did you get started?
All right. So basically about when I was 19 years old, so a long time ago, man, 19 years old, I overheard my father talking about the guy next door. He flipped the house. He bought it for $150, sold it for, put 20 into it and sold it for $270. So as a 19-year-old kid, I'm like, wow, this guy just made $100,000. I want to do real estate. So, I was just like, well, sheesh, I want to get into real estate. So what do I need to do? And I asked my father, and he told me to talk to a friend who fixes credit. So I was 19, so I didn't need my credit fixed. I just needed some credit. And then that's when the journey began. And at 24, I bought my first property, and I ended up losing like $14,000 on that property, me and my partner.
Wow. So what happened in the deal for you guys to lose 14 grand?
Oh, we did everything wrong, man. We bought the property wrong. We came up with our own value out of our head. We picked the wrong contractor. I mean, you name it, we did it wrong. Right.
So that was your real first coaching class, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So running into that, losing $14,000, which is a chunk of change, man. That's a good amount of money. What made you want to continue? Because most people stop at that point.
What made me? Oh, I was young, man. I was too stupid to quit at that point, man. I was like, man, this real estate thing works. It's just that I ain't do something wrong, right? And I just kept at it, man.
Wow, that's amazing, man. So, fast forward, you've went through your downside, I guess, of the market in terms of you losing money. And how'd your next deal fare?
My next deal was a rental property in 2008. So my first one was in 2007, next one in 2008, another one in 2009. And then from there, from 2009, there was 2 rental properties, right? 2 rental properties. So I still don't know anything about creative real estate. And from there, in 2000, I read a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which led me to my local REIA, which in turn led me to wholesaling houses. So and from there, man, I want to say I did my first wholesale deal in 2011.
Gotcha. And for those who don't know, man, what's wholesaling?
Wholesaling is basically when you buy and sell a property, well, the rights, the contractual rights to a property, wholesaling houses rather, when you buy and sell the contractual rights to a property, So therefore, you'll find the property at a deep discount. Let's say a property is worth 100 and you find it for 40, and then you get the contract with the seller for $40,000. Then you turn around and assign that property for, I guess, $55,000, and a cash buyer, known as a landlord or a flipper, they will then buy that. In that closing, you got a check for $15,000.
Wow, that's amazing. So right now, in terms of, wholesaling, is that predominantly what you do, or are you spread out? Because when I first start, looking at you, I think you were strictly wholesale. It was either land or homes, but I didn't see you doing anything else at that time.
Yeah, I'm predominantly wholesale. Absolutely, predominantly wholesale.
Okay, cool. Why specifically that niche?
It's once you got the science down to getting it done, it's kind of, why turn it off?
Right.
You don't you the if I had to give a good reason why, you risk the least amount of capital and you have a large upsell, so a large upside of it. So I was like, man, ain't no need to give this up. I seen guys give it up to only come right back to it.
Right. Wow. So in terms of your wholesale business, how do you get your deals?
Um, yes, well, just in terms of wholesale business, the way I get my deals is I basically do ringless voicemail, text messages, and cold calling.
Gotcha. So how long does it take you to get in touch with those people? Because I know they don't call you right off the bat. Like what time, like how many times do you need to follow up?
How many times I need to follow up? Okay, that's a good question. So, I mean, some very few times you get them on the first hit. Majority of the time, you're following up 3, 4, 5 months straight.
Right. So it's not as easy as people think. Typically they think wholesaling is the easy way to get into real estate. What's your take on it?
Uh, uh, it takes a lot of work. It's simple, but it's not easy. I'm going to say this is a great way to get in if you want to get in and not risk a lot of capital, or you don't have a lot of money.
Got you. Um, and I do a little investing myself, but I have a question for you. Besides you're a wholesaler, do you consider wholesalers investors?
Oh, do I consider wholesaling an investing strategy? No.
Got you. Why is that?
It's not an investing strategy. It's a transactional business. You're only as good as your last wholesale.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, it's just a transactional business. So it's not really an investment per se.
Got you. And you're in the Charlotte market. Is that the only location that you wholesale in?
Well, the Charlotte metro area. So for the most part, right now, yes, we're just doing the Charlotte and the surrounding counties.
Got you. How many deals do you think you guys do a month?
We're at like 5 to 7 right now.
Okay. Um, so what's the goal for your company?
Well, basically, right this year, man, I want to take advantage of. I'm getting back into rehabbing, man. So we're going to be rehabbing and getting back into rehabbing some. So, we ideally we could take it to 3 million. That'd be cool for us.
Wow. Wow. And are you seeing any uptick in, properties being available or not being available in this market because of the way it is?
Right now, in any major city, it's going to be a shortage of inventory. So
Gotcha.
it's definitely a shortage of inventory. So, if you can get an off-market property and the numbers work, doesn't have to be a good deal. Just the numbers work for an investor, man. They are in a sale.
Gotcha. So break a wholesale deal down for me. Like, what do you look for to consider it a good deal for you?
Okay, so basically, just to keep it simple, let's when you break down a wholesale deal, let's take it back to your end user, not the end user, but your end user as a wholesaler, which is going to be your flipper or your landlord. So that person wants to be anywhere between 70 and 80% all in. So that means if a property is worth 100, they want to be If they're 70%, it's 70, 75,000. And if they're 80%, 80,000. And then they either they're the landlord or they rehab the property.
Gotcha. So is there a set number that you look for in you profiting, or does it all depend upon the deal?
All depends upon the deal, man. We going with the estimate of 10K, but it's all about the deal.
Okay. So if it comes in at 7K, 8K, you still take a look at it, right?
Hell yeah.
It's a good day, right?
Yeah. Hey, bro, I used to work for $10 an hour, dog. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. I ain't turning that down.
Gotcha. And I know we typically, most podcasts typically start with the beginning. I wanted to start where you are now and kind of dig into you working at the call centers and what pushed you out when you, decide to go full-time wholesaling.
Well, okay. So, with the call centers, I never wanted to be there in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I don't aim that low. It was just like a job that was hiring, and that's what it always was. It's a job, just over broke. So I never looked at it as a career. I always looked at like, yo, why am I even here? So, my first two jobs, man, my paycheck ain't have a comma. So that kept me motivated and knew I had to get out of there. So
Wow. That's amazing, man. And have you worked a job since?
Since I got fired in September of 2012, no.
That's awesome, man. So real estate's been your bread and butter ever since.
Yeah.
So what makes you want to get back into the rehabbing?
I want to take advantage of this hot market, bro, because people are putting product out and it's getting 10, 20, 50, 30, 40,000 over asking price right now in this particular market. So I just want to take advantage of that if possible.
Right. So I guess that's where the vision of wholesaling helps, because if you don't want to rehab it, you'll still put it back on the market to someone else.
There you go. Yes.
Gotcha. You ever dabble in any new construction?
Absolutely. I built a few houses. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I've done that over the years. Man, I kind of like scale back on it because I want to get my own GC license so I can have 100% control.
Gotcha. So when you did your new construction, I guess when you did your rehab and you subbed everything out.
Yes, that's correct. Well, you hire a GC because it's over. So you hire a GC. The reason why you hire a GC because it's over 30,000 in North Carolina. Anything over 30,000, you need a GC, and you got to pull the overall construction permit. So so that's always how I got my stuff done. But
Gotcha.
it's the ideal situation, and I would like to. I want to be the GC on the project, the official GC, you know what I mean, where I'm making sure everything's done and I can put together my team of subs and not have to rely on another GC who really don't care.
Right. So how many projects do you think you could handle at that point, all at one time?
I mean, I've done 6 and 7 by my, with going through people, but if I was the GC, I mean, my play is I'm going to hire a project manager. Like, let me grow the business. I'll get the project manager, and have them out there, making sure things are getting done properly.
Gotcha.
So that we can do 10 to 20 to 30 properties.
Gotcha. So how has the real estate Doru evolved? Like, have you had mentors, coaches,
masterminds, mentors, absolutely, coaches, absolutely, bro. That stuff is important, bro. And
right.
You gotta invest in yourself, man. I mean, I was in this high level mastermind for 3 years, man. It was 20,000 a year, bro. So, can't be afraid to invest if you want to grow. Like, everybody say they want to grow, but if you know how to do it without, anybody else help, that's fine. But I didn't, so I had to invest.
So at what point did you say, you know what, Nasser, I need to grow this business and I want to figure out how to do it faster than I am now? Like what was the point where you decided to do that and to invest in yourself?
I'm going to say, I mean, when the opportunity came in front of me where I could join something like that, and then when I did, it was great. I always read about them in books about joining masterminds and things of that nature. Then I had the opportunity, and I was like, man, I'm in.
Got you. Got you. And in terms of being in those masterminds, did you go to a different one? Because you said you was in one for 3 years. Are you still in that same mastermind?
No, I'm not in that mastermind. I got burnt out from traveling 4 times a year. So from there, my next step was, just chilled out, run my business. And then I got a coach. And from having a coach, I was just from having a coach, I was just been doing that. And now I just recently joined another mastermind. It's for developing. So yes.
Got you. And that's something that I know there are very few African American developers in the United States, man.
Very few, absolutely, brother. So it's a group of us and we're trying to come together and put a play together. So yes.
Got you. And so what makes you want to become a developer?
What makes me want to become the developer is, I've been wanting to do this since I was 19, bro. I'm 37, bro. So I just want to grow in real estate, man. I don't see myself doing something outside of real estate. I just want to grow it, man. And so what's next after residential? Commercial.
Commercial.
What's next after commercial? Getting into the development spin of commercial, because commercial property. That's vague. You could be a commercial landlord. You can hold multifamily. You can do developing. So, I just want to grow my career. Like evolve. And there's nothing wrong with somebody being in residential their whole life. There's nothing wrong. Believe me, I know guys way more successful than I am, and all they do is residential real estate. So there's nothing wrong. It's just with me, I know where I wanted to go and where the vision I wanted to have. Residential real estate is great. I don't know if I ever stop wholesaling. It's so great, but yeah, it's great, man. So I can't, I can't talk. I don't want your listeners to think that I'm comparing one to the other as one being better than the other, because online we always see that conversation.
Right.
Oh, it's better, but not. Hey man, look, bro, whatever works for you, that's going to keep you away from a 9 to 5 and give you a life worth living, then do that. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be whatever works for you, so yeah, man. But that's just with me. I just wanted to I always envision myself owning apartment buildings. Always envision myself but one day becoming this developer guy. So
Got you. So like where'd that vision come from? Did your parents have investment properties or is just come?
bro, we was in the we wasn't poor. We were middle class, but we was living in the hood because in New Jersey the cost of living was so expensive. It's either you rich or poor, ain't really much in between. So yeah, man. But with that being said, no, it wasn't them. No, I had a great upbringing. They taught me saving and the basic of finances, unlike my counterparts. They taught me how to write a check and all that. So, they definitely raised me for the most part. But, just that one conversation at 19, I was sold on real estate from there. Me hearing that one conversation. And then, bro, look, the guy pulled up to the house one day, right?
Uh-huh.
Here it is. I'm on the porch. I'm just on the porch. I'm sitting on the porch, right? And I'm 19, sitting on the porch. Man, whatever year it was, he had the Range Rover of that year and the model girl hop out on the passenger side. I was like, dude, I'm like, bruh, I am sold, bruh. What do I need to do to get in? So, and when you younger and you don't have any money, you are fascinated with materialistic things. And then when you get the money, you're no longer fascinated with that stuff. But Yeah, man. So I was like, man, I'm gonna get me a Range Rover. This is what it is right here. I'm about to get me a Range Rover, bro. I'm gonna be owning properties and all this. So yeah, man, it's crazy. Just with
Right.
somebody, and I don't know who he is, and he don't know who I am, and just how he could just inspire somebody like that.
Wow. Just one conversation, then you saw the girl
Yeah,
come out the truck, and that was it.
that was it. I was sold, bro. I'm
That's
sold,
what
bro. Yeah.
that's what's up. So in terms of you keep saying vision and that drive, what fuels it? It's got to be more than money. Like what continues to fuel it?
Um. Well, what continues to fuel it? Okay. Well, the things that continue to fuel it, man, is just that hunger for more. You know, that hunger for more, bro. I was just always like this. Always wanted more. I just always wanted more, bro. So it's just that hunger.
Gotcha.
It's
And
just like, I think it's more you can learn it, but I think it's more of a characteristic, man. Some people just born like just wanting more.
right, right. Yeah, it's so like to me, I think there's some people that peak early. Like you got the cat in school who might have been in middle school as a star, and when he get to high school, he's not even on the team because he's still smaller than everybody else. At one point, he was taller. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. Then you got the cat that was the star in high school, and then he kind of peaked. And then you got the guy that gets better after he leaves high school.
Yep.
Yep. So, with that being said, man, if a person's listening to this podcast, they want to get into the wholesale space, what would be the top two things you would tell them they must do before they even get started?
All right. The top things they must do is they want to get into the wholesale space, then just prepare themselves mentally for the process of everything was about to happen, all the uncomfortableness that they have to do, and things of that nature. So get heavy into self-development, research wholesaling, then put a budget aside, then put time aside, how much time you can actually invest in this. Because as you know, people want to invest as little as possible as far as time, but get a huge return back. And unfortunately, life don't work like that.
Right.
So yeah,
Do you do any coaching?
I don't do coaching, but we do have a program. So I have a course that I put out just the end of last year. So and on wholesaling, it's called. You can go to maxandnas.com. So maxandnas.com, and we have that course. And of course, my free content on YouTube, Real Estate Doru. And yeah, so that's basically all I have, man. I'm going to be dropping the ebook soon, so hopefully that'll be out soon.
Gotcha. And you're an author as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm an author. My book is Flip Houses Like Burgers, which is on Amazon. And make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, Real Estate Doru. So that way I'm going to be giving that book away for free soon. And I'm going to be selling the new book. So hopefully you guys can at least get the old book for free if you don't want to buy the new book.
Gotcha, gotcha. Are there any other resources someone could tap into with on the investing side besides YouTube videos?
Any other resources? I mean, not necessarily for wholesale. I mean, it's niche down. You're gonna get somebody's ebook. Go to your local RIA, your local RIA with the meetups and things of that nature. So, your best like to learn wholesaling, I'm gonna say YouTube University is a great start.
Gotcha, gotcha. And then in terms of scaling your wholesale business, obviously, it's you, but do you have a team or systems in place to help you grow?
All right, as far as scamming it, I'm sorry, scaling it. Yes, I do have a team. I have a team that I have in place to help me grow. So that's how I'm able to do these calls and things of that nature and get things done. But yes, I do have a team. I have people working for me.
Gotcha. And in terms of systems, you had mentioned text blast and emails. Is that all automated?
Yeah. Well, we have a system we use, durutexting.com. DuruTexting.com. And with that system, I mean, this is basically how we text people, easy to use. And also, we have a dialer for the cold calling, which is Doru Dialer. And this stuff is not free, unfortunately. It does, you have to pay for it, but Doru Dialer, Dialer, .com. So Doru Dialer, we use these type of things to blast, and we use an RVM service, REIRL, and with the ringless voicemail, which works pretty well. What we do is, do those drops to people's phones to get them to call back. But yeah, we just use these programs and that into place, and then the guy who works for me, he just manages everything and call people back, and I have VAs doing the phone work.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, man, I know you're a busy guy. And listen, I don't take it lightly that you took the time to spend on my podcast. Once again, for all of those who want to follow you, can you give us your social media information?
Real Estate Doru. So Real Estate Doru, one word, Doru, Doru. And it's the Real Estate Doru. Then I got my Facebook group, Wholesaling with the Doru. So you can check that out as well.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, Nasar, I appreciate it. If you like this podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson. Have a great day.